Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? You know, I say good morning, but it's actually the afternoon. It's my day off, believe it or not. Good morning, afternoon, and evening. If everybody's at work, I hope you guys have a great shift. Hope you guys started your morning early and bright and amazing. And if you're working graveyard, I hope you have a good night's sleep. I'm your host, Armando Ortega, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Mind of Mando. You're going to be hearing a couple of things. Well, maybe just three things. One, my beautiful voice. Two, you're probably hearing a low rumbling in the background that may get louder. And that's just my dryer going off, doing some laundry right now. And now you probably just heard the third thing, which is All That Remains. Oh, and the fourth thing, my cat. How do you call it? All That Remains. Got some news about All That Remains. One, like I told you guys a couple episodes back, All That Remains, love them. First song I heard about them was the song 6 from their album Fall of the Ideals. But today we're not listening to that album. I kind of want to savor their other works. Today we'll be listening to their album This Darkened Heart, and right now the song is called And Death in My Arms. This album is great. You know, honestly, a lot of their albums are great, but their earlier works, yeah, I'm a huge fan of those. The reason I'm not listening to the other album right now is because, one, we played it a couple of episodes back, even though it was with the crappy mic, and not this beautiful blue ember. But two, it's because tomorrow, the 21st of April, today's 420, I just realized that. Oh, well, happy 420 to those who actually celebrate it. Hope you guys are having a pretty great lit day. Just remember to eat something. On the 21st, which is tomorrow, here in San Diego, All That Remains is going to be here. I got tickets for me and my lady. It's going to be their 15th anniversary for the album, The Fall of the Ideals and everything. A lot of my favorite songs are from that album. And, it's really great. Oh, man, my cats are running everywhere. But this album right here, This Darkened Heart, it's a beautiful album. It's a beautiful mastery of guitars. The drums just go crazy. You hear this? You hear all that? Yeah, it's great. It's great seeing it live. How do you call it? Yeah, it's just iconic. I used to listen to this back home a lot. Back when I used to still have my Skull Candy earphones, the wired ones. I think it was called Skull Candy Inked. And yeah, it just brings back memories. Used to listen to it while skating. Used to listen to it while running deliveries and everything. And back then, you know what blows my mind is the other day I really noticed this. It's just that I don't know if you guys heard, but a couple of weeks ago, Apple made an announcement that they're no longer going to be producing iPods, which makes sense. But it's just like, you see how far technology has gone, even in that sense. iPods are made to have something portable, handheld, to hold the music you wanted to listen to. Because back when iPods were made, you had phones that could play music, but it was just like, there was no Spotify, there was no Pandora, there was no really anything like that you could just put on and forget about, It was, you had the iTunes store. You had Zunes when Microsoft was trying to make their own version of the iPod. And then you had Walkmans, you had CD players still. They were still a thing. And, music that you uploaded to your phone, you had to upload it from a program on your computer. And LimeWire, just give aids to your computer, You had to do so much more than what you can do now. Now people, it's just like, oh, we could listen to it Spotify, YouTube Music, Pandora's still a thing, but it's not as, prime as it was back in the day. And for me, it's just like, I pay for YouTube Premium. I love it. Because it's just like, a lot of people are like, why can't YouTube make technology where you can just, close the app or turn on, lock your phone and just listen to what you selected. Thing is, you can. YouTube's been offering that and everything. The only thing YouTube does is YouTube requires you to pay premium in order for you to actually do it. It's like they don't just give it to you like that. There's like, hey, look, you want to do that? Yeah, just give us $12 a month and everything. Yeah, it adds up, but in the end of the day, it's I enjoy it. I listen to a lot of music and a lot of videos and a lot of podcasts on YouTube that honestly, for me personally, it's worth it for me. You guys do what you like to do. Hold on, give me a second. Oh man, tea is delicious. So how do you say it? Yeah, so so I remember having an iPod. I remember when my father gifted my sister, who's just a year older than me. He gifted her an iPod mini, this lime green iPod mini. And we thought it was the coolest thing in the world before he took us back to our mom's. And what do you call it? I think she still has it. I think she showed it in 2020. Like, she still has it. The thing is, it suffers from the same thing that a lot of other electronics suffer from nowadays that are super old, is it'll still work, but you just have to have it constantly on the charger at all times. It will literally lose battery in just a few minutes, or maybe even less than 5 minutes. It's just like, it's just how it is, just how electronics go. So, how do you say it? So she still has it, I believe, engraved in the back and everything like that. I remember I had the iPod Touch first generation, and I remember when I was in high school, the second generation came out soon after. And a lot of people, like, I felt kind of bad because a lot of the people who had an iPod Touch after I did when we barely started high school, because the second generation iPod Touch, it was basically the iPhone but without the phone or texting unless you downloaded the apps. But the iPod Touch second gen, that iPod, how do you say it? That one actually allowed you to listen to stuff through a speaker, and it had volume controls and everything like that. That was revolutionary after the touchscreen and everything for an iPod. Yeah, revolutionary. I didn't have that. So when a lot of friends from high school were all like trying to see some stuff, they would ask me like, how do you turn up the volume in this one? I'm just like, it's the first gen. You can't do that. You know, you got to have earphones. I'm like, it kind of made me feel bad, but it's just like, in the end of the day, I had an iPod Touch at 14 years old, and others didn't, because they had the second generation. No, I'm just kidding. No, a lot of people just probably had other iPods, like older models, or just none at all, I had an iPod Nano 5th generation, which is possibly one of my most favorite iPods I have ever owned. It was the one where it was the first iPod that actually added a camera, like a video camera, to an iPod. And it wasn't the iTouch. It was the iPod Nano 5th gen. And I had a lot of different filters, had so many great memories. I think I threw it away, but I know there was like awesome videos in there and everything like that. Kind of want to get another one low key. But the last iPod I owned was the iPod Touch that they would release in like 2016, I believe. And it was the one that came in different colors and stuff. And I remember, I had my phone in one pocket, which were bulkier bulkier smartphones back in the day, and my iPod Touch in the other pocket, because I would use my phone for stuff for the phone, the internet and everything. I would use my iPod for like music and videos, and that's how it was. You would have to have different devices in your pockets carrying around for different reasons, and that's just how the world used to be. But then now it's just like, now you mix your music and your phone and everything into just one device, you're set. You don't need an iPod anymore. I want an iPod again, but it's just like, honestly, me getting an iPod, it's just for memories. It's for nostalgia purposes, and that's it. Because everything I can use in an iPod, I can literally just do on my phone. And that's it. So, so I guess Apple saw that too, and they were like, yeah, you know what? We're just not going to continue doing iPods anymore. And I haven't had an iPod in years, because the woman I moved down here with and everything like that, after we broke up, we had more rough bad times than good. And one of those rough bad times was an argument where she grabbed my iPod and just chucked it to the side of a building and just completely obliterated it. And yeah, at that point I didn't have the money to buy another one. I mean, I do now, but it's just no use, you know. It's just no reason to anymore. I got everything I need on my phone. But yeah, so how do you call it? They discontinued the iPod. Everything you can do is on your phone, and it's just, to have extra stuff than that, it's just, how do you call it, not necessity, it's desire and luxury, basically. Like right now I'm playing all their remains through my record player, through the Bluetooth and everything like that. I don't need to do that. You know. I don't need that record player. I don't need any of that. I could just play it from my phone right now. But I wanted it, and my lady got it for me, and I love it, and it's nice. A few weeks ago, though, like shortly after that announcement was made, in my job, we had to. What was that? My job. I don't know why I said that. That was weird. My job requires us to like patrol around the property. You know, makes sense. Exterior, interiors, and back ways and everything like that. Make sure everything's in order. Make sure there's no one's trespassing there. Make sure there's no damages, vandalism, anything suspicious going on. That's what we do. But there's certain things called not QR codes. They're scan points, basically. And we have each get a device where we go around, check an area, and when we complete that area, we scan a code to show that yes, we were there, we did what we needed to do. We only had one device at that point. Later on, one of my employers brought in 2 more devices so we can scan, and those 2 devices were the iPod Touch. From the year when I last had my iPod Touch. And let me tell you, when I say you just don't know how things have grown and changed and updated until you go back to the technology you used to have and think it was normal. Because I swear, as soon as I saw that thing and I grabbed that iPod Touch, the same model that I had when I was back in 2015, 2016, it's so small. like it's smaller than my hand, and it's like, what? The screen is so small. And here's the thing, phones nowadays, and a lot of people just look at your phone. If you have it in your hand right now, look at your phone. It's more likely than not your phone, the entire screen takes up the entire screen. All of it, even if your camera is there and everything like that, the screen still goes around your camera. You know, and for some of you, I know my boy has this one. They're now still working out cell phones that can fold. You know, so some of you may have cell phones that you can literally fold, and it'll make even a bigger screen, and it'll take even more space. There's the home buttons and everything like that phones used to have are now becoming obsolete because the buttons are either being placed on the side of the phone, or the more how do you call it, the more recent technology in these past years is fingerprints. You know, my phone is like that. My phone has a button on the side, so when I press it, it'll light up the screen, and I could swipe the screen and put in my password to gain access. Or I can do what it also allows me to do, which is this area in the back of my phone, like in the middle of the back of my phone. I literally just press my finger on that, reads my fingerprint in like less than a fraction of a second, it unlocks my phone. And it's just like, you know, those iPods still have the home button on the bottom of the iPod, right there in the front and everything. Still has the lock button right there on the top, on the right side. Still has the volume buttons on the side too. And they don't have a fingerprint sensor. And even though they're super small, their screen, the screen of their stuff, doesn't take up the entire front of the phone. So it's like, it's even smaller than that, and it's insane. It's just like, it's crazy to go back, you know. It's insane. And I think about it, I'm just like, you know, what if we get like kids from nowadays, you know, like the more recent 12, 13, 14 year olds or whatever, how old would they be if they're like 12 nowadays? Jesus, they would have been born in 2010. Holy crap. You know? Oh my God. We say we get a 12-year-old now, and we give him an old iPod. You know? An old iPod from like 2015. That kid is probably used to like foldable smartphones and touchscreens. That kid's probably used to like, you know, smart TV and streaming services and what else? Like just things that are bigger than its head. And you give him an old iPod from like 2015, they're gonna be like, what? Well, it's got buttons. Like, what? That's insane. You know? And it's just like, holy crap. You know, it blows my mind. And when I was thinking about the whole like having the youngsters react to technology that was mind-blowing in our age, and I say that and it makes me feel old, but I'm only 28. But what do you call it? It's like I think about this one topic that happened back in like 2015, I believe, about the Fine Bros. You guys ever heard about the Fine Bros? Or even know who they are or anything like that? Well, I'll explain. The Fine Bros is these two guys. Okay, that's the name of one of their channels on YouTube, the Fine Bros. I think they're still active, but they have a second channel that probably became their main channel called React. So basically, for years they've been doing a series where they literally have people from all walks of life, of all sizes, of all ages, come together and react to things that they wouldn't normally, or they don't relate with, you know? So they have, you know, kids who were like 12, 13, 14 years old, reacting to technology from the 70s, you know? And this is like back in 2015. And it's just like reacting to technology things from the 70s. I've seen a couple of them react to like a Walkman. And like, what is this? Seen a couple of them react to the original Game Boy and then the Game Boy Color. Then I've seen a couple of them react to like an old computer. You know, speaking of computers, have you guys ever used those Apple computers? You know, the really colorful ones with the see-through panel in the back and everything like that? You know, they're in museums now. I was in elementary school, and I think even part of my middle school when I was still using those in their museums. That's insane. But anyways, back to my original thing. Then they have elders reacting to like modern day metal music. You know, you have I don't know, adults reacting to cringy TikToks their kids are making. Just all this stuff. You know. Well, anyways, that was their format. Reactions. And, you know, like from time to time it could have been entertaining, you know, especially if it was something that, you know, was being reacted like that you grew up with, you related with or anything, or maybe you were even their age and you were like, oh, well, I was seeing this technology for the first time too. How do you call it? Yeah, so that was their whole thing. Well, back in 2015, they came out with an announcement called React World. What was React World? I'll tell you. So basically, React World was both of them saying, hey, listen, we have fun doing these React videos, you know, just like getting people together. And we know we built a large fan base and a community of people who want to make reaction videos. And we want to help you achieve that goal. That's why, and here's where it starts kind of like going downhill for them, and they just got so much backlash that currently I do feel like they deserved, which was they basically mean like, that's why we want to help you make React videos and we want you to join our community. So they were saying, you got to sign up with us, just agree to our terms and everything like that, and we'll give you everything you need. We'll give you templates, we'll give you setups, we'll give you all this equipment that you will need. Not equipment, like just stuff you will need and everything like that. And you can make your own reaction videos and everything like that. We'll post it all together through this one program we're releasing called React World. So you can use the stuff that we use and everything like that to make reaction videos and stuff. The thing is, a lot of people were, when they first initially saw that video, and you can look it up, there's still people who re-upload that original video because they took it down in a heartbeat. Basically what they were saying is like, hey, listen, we're basically getting the rights to reaction videos. That entire genre is ours. So if that was how you were making your living, if that's what you were doing, if that's how you want to make your living, your money, yada yada yada, you have to join React World. You have to use our stuff that we give you, and anything that you make is legally ours. We share it onto YouTube. We get a hefty percentage of whatever revenue your video garners in. If you want to post it up anywhere else like Facebook and stuff, you got to get our permission first. And it was just like, wow, that sucks. No, what? Like, you can't own the rights to a genre of videos, you know? And it wasn't just that. It was like people were pointing out also, it's just like, hey, you can't do that because this isn't even your original idea. Bill Cosby, back in like the 80s, 70s, what was it? Like, Kids Say the Darndest Things. He did it first, and he actually engaged with the kids, you know? Like, sounds weird when I say it, but he was actually there, like, you know, talking to them, like, asking them questions, showing them stuff and everything like that. He was there being a part of it. The Fine Bros, they just put kids or adults or seniors in front of a screen or in front of something on a table and just, here, tell us your thoughts. It's really about it. And I think someone else asked them the questions about like what they're watching or what they're messing around with. But how do you say it? So yeah, so it was like Bill Cosby did it first. And not only that, there's a tweet out there, I'm positive, that got deleted also years ago, where they got mad at Ellen. You know, Ellen of recent is not a great person. She got exposed in a not so great light that I'm sure, if I recall correctly, her and her loyal employees, their fans, were trying to do like damage control, but the backlash, the accusations, everything that was happening to Ellen was just too much and too great and too consistent that I think she ended up reluctantly canceling her show. Like, I know she didn't want to finish her show. I know she wanted to keep going and milking it for all it's worth, but she just couldn't continue because nobody was being her fan anymore, you know? And I don't blame him. I mean, there's this rapper called Mac Lethal. He's the one who had beef with Tom McDonald and everything like that. I've been listening to Mac Lethal for like years. I think like since towards the end of high school. He went on the Ellen show because of his fast raps when he was doing the alphabet rap. And even he came out with a video. And this was like years before the recent controversy with Ellen, that he was telling his experience on how it was when he got there and everything. If you guys want to hear more and everything, because I'm not really going to go into it, it's in his channel, Mac Lethal and everything. Just search Mac Lethal Ellen experience or whatever, you know, and you'll see it. But how do you call it? All in all, the result, the conclusion of his video was, it wasn't what he expected, and it wasn't great. It really was not, and it fit into what people were saying of recent years about Ellen. Well, anyways, the Fine Bros, back to the original point, the Fine Bros were mad at Ellen and everything. This is because she did a thing in her show at that point where she had kids reacting to old technology, you know, the whole bread and butter of the Fine Bros. And they didn't like it. They weren't happy. They were like, how dare Ellen do the things that we do? without including us, without asking for our permission, yada yada yada, and everything like that. It's like, that is unacceptable of the Ellen Show to do what we do without telling us. And it's like, she didn't need to tell you. No one needed to tell you, because that's not a thing that you own, you know? I mean, like, for example, I'm here sitting in front of my mic and everything like that, podcasting, talking to you, whoever's listening. And there's music playing in the background, you know, for little enjoyments here and there during like dead air. How many other people do that out in the internet? How many other people do what I'm doing, who talked about the stuff I'm talking about and everything? A bunch, a lot, and everything. Just so much. But the reason there's so much is because one person doesn't have exclusive sole rights to a specific genre of videos. You know, that's just not how it works. People can make videos however they want, whenever they want. They don't need to ask anybody's permission. That's it. So it's just like, that's how it was with Ellen and the Fine Bros. I'm not a fan of Ellen, never was. But it's just like, her making a video, well, her making a show like that on one of her shows and everything, a segment like that on her show, it was well within her rights, and she didn't, and nobody owed the Fine Bros anything, and they got mad. How do you call it? So they came out with the whole React World thing, and that's what they were telling initially. They were like, "Hey, listen, we have rights to the React genre. Now you can join us and give us money, so we can give you the things you need to make React videos in our image, and we will take a percentage of the revenue you garner, and you will need to have our permission if you want to do anything else with that video, and we own your video." So what do you call it? That's when, and then like, this part kills me. During their video of announcing that React World stuff, they're all like, "Our goal is for sometime in the future, all of us, we can come together, look at this day right now that we're living right now, and just be like, wow, that's the first time that we got together and made a one-of-a-kind community in this global scale," and everything. Well, they were right. One day, everybody was going to get together and look at that moment in time we were living right there and be like, wow. But the reason we're going to be like that is because we're all like, wow, remember that day when the Fine Bros screwed up and just everything but completely obliterated their reputation? Because it was insane. Nobody bought into that. Nobody, like, not even the Fine Bros fans like that or anything like that. They started losing there were so many videos out there that were just videos of live videos of the subscriber count going down, and that was it. And they were losing a lot, like millions, I think, 100,000s or millions, I forgot. But they were losing a lot of subscribers because of that. They came out with an apology video, like a quote unquote apology video, explaining their stance and apologizing, quote unquote, again. And what they were saying was like, it was damage control. It was them being like, look, guys, we were just trying to make a community. So those who wanted to make videos like ours, like our backgrounds and our templates and anything that if they looked at it, be like, wow, that looks like a Fine Bros video. They can do it legally. We will help them achieve it if they want that style. We weren't trying to make a claim that we owned the entire React genre in general. And I'm like, I thought about it and I was like, yeah, that could make sense. That really could make sense. But I always thought about this. Had you not received that backlash, had the React World thing they were starting, how do you call it, happen without a hitch, people signed up, people started paying money, people started doing all that stuff and everything like that, and it became just a success. If it ever got to that point, and someday one person decided to make a reaction video without paying for their stuff, just wanted to make it out of their own stuff, out of their own skills, out of their own time, and post it onto YouTube. The Fine Bros, would they be cool with that? Or would they try and get lawyers involved? And I didn't want to be like, oh yeah, no, they're just scummy like that or anything like that. But then I thought about it, and I just remembered the Ellen thing. They were mad that Ellen did a video like that didn't even look like theirs. It was just kids reacting to old technology. They got mad at that still, and they still went off on it. And the only reason they couldn't go after Ellen legally was because Ellen at that point, she was huge, way more huge than they were. They weren't gonna win, and they knew it, but they were mad about it, and they sure as hell let the world know that they were mad about it. So it's just like, I do believe it. I do believe it, that React World had gone off, became successful, and was just a accepted thing that was happening. If somebody wanted to make their own independent reaction video, I believe the Fine Bros would get lawyers involved. But you know, thank goodness that didn't happen. And it was that was back in 2015, and that segued me into the whole. Hold on, let me drink something real quick. Enjoy the music in the background. Enjoy this drinking ASMR. Oh man, tea is like. Excuse me. Tea is like one of the most beautiful drinks you could drink. Anyways, I started thinking about it, and I was just like, what led me to like really remember that whole debacle with the Fine Bros back in 2015 or 2016? It's like, what made me remember that? Why am I thinking about it and everything like that? And I think the reason I started thinking about it was because of the way I heard about it. And it was relates to the same thing that started, at least for me, being brought more to my attention, which is the way I found out about the whole Fine Bro stuff and everything when it was happening was because of this channel called H3H3 Productions. I think a lot of you guys may have heard of them. Hosted by Ethan Klein and his wife Ela. And I started watching them. I don't want to say since the beginning. No. I started watching them, like, I think just a little before his whole beef with SoFlo Antonio, because I disliked SoFlo's videos. I was able to see immediately that he was just stealing videos, and his face was just so punchable, I swear to God. But yeah, it was shortly before that. And it wasn't until it got to the SoFlo stuff that it really caught my eye, and I was like, oh man, these guys are funny, you know? And I enjoyed watching his videos. I enjoyed watching both their videos. And the reason I liked it was because this guy and his wife just had this certain chemistry, this certain rhythm going on with both of them while making those videos. They had the chemistry. They had the attitude. They had the mood. They had the jokes. They had everything. They had their own style when criticizing videos or reviewing videos or reacting to videos or anything like that, or commenting. They were commentary channels. Their editing was fun. Their intro was just truly iconic. And how do you call it? It was just entertaining to watch. And for me, it had high replay value. It was just they were amazing. And I remember listening to their videos a lot when I used to work for the bank back home in SF, and during work, during the gym, after work, even my girlfriend at the time, I used to show her their videos, and she also enjoyed watching them. How do you call it? They were oh, this song is super good. What is it? Tattered on My Sleeve. Yeah, this song is just so great. Well, anyways, that's how much I like them and everything. And I was even there when the whole Matt Haas zone, bold guy, when they made a video of him, I started cracking up and everything. But it wasn't just that. It was also the fact that, how do you say it? He dead ass was suing them because he was claiming, they were biting his content. They were, had no right using his videos or anything like that. But they would argue that the way they used it was transformative, which would fall well in the boundaries of fair use. But, he took it to court. They took it to court. This whole thing happened where even Philip DeFranco was set up a GoFundMe or fundraiser for them. And a couple years later, they ended up winning it, which at that point I was feeling like, yeah, what, good for you. So it was safe to say 2014, 2015, 2016, I was a huge fan of their channel. Hold on, my dryer just finished. You can hear that beeping in the back. I'm gonna be right back. Okay, I'm back. Hope you enjoy that song in the background. Tatted on my sleeve, all that remains. Listen to it. It's super good. Where was I? Yeah, so the whole them winning the whole thing, that was something that I was stoked for them for. The thing is this. After maybe the end of 2016, or after the middle of 2016, I just, with a lot of different channels, just didn't keep up with their videos anymore. Didn't keep up with their content, and didn't maintain updated with what was going on or anything. Huge reason was because at that point in my life, for like around the next 2.5 years, it was just not good. So I just really wasn't focused on anything else, really. So it's been being brought to my attention that I think around that time they started a podcast. So I heard and I saw that they started a podcast, but I've also noticed that they weren't really uploading much to their original channel, which was H3H3 Productions. They were just uploading to the H3H3 podcast. So how do you call it? I just lost interest. I mean, my original channel on YouTube, yeah, I think it's still subscribed to their original channel, but it's just, I just never kept up. Just never really, how do you say it, paid attention, and I wasn't even interested in catching up. It wasn't until like this past few weeks that I started hearing more and more about them. And let me tell you, it breaks my heart. Because it was, I was able to see after like a couple of episodes, the recent episodes, and after, how do you say it, a lot of their podcasts as of late, that Ethan has changed a lot. And like, I don't even want to talk crap about his wife, because in the end, I just feels like she's just being a good wife for her husband, which is respectable. But it's like, it's just mainly him. Because, you could be part of, like, you could have two groups of people that have opposing thoughts, opposing points of views and everything like that. And one of the groups could be significantly smaller than the other group. But if that smaller group just yells louder, then they're the ones that are going to be noticed a lot more frequently than those of the opposing bigger group. And that's basically what it is when I view it with, like, Ethan. It's just like his wife is there. Yeah, And there's a lot of people that associate themselves with him and everything that did in the past, that they don't have that same point of view. But because Ethan is just so much louder than they are, he's the one that's getting noticed a lot more. He has such a huge following and everything, but he's starting to lose that. And what's happened as of recently, it sucks, but I can't say I'm surprised. Main reason is because, Ethan had in his original channel, it was a commentary channel, basically. It was a channel to do like parodies and everything like that, and it was fun. He acted a certain way along with his wife that brought up a specific type of audience. But then now, as of lately, it's just like he's not only trying to get rid of his old audience, but he's being hardcore about it. And when I notice his demeanor, when I notice his attitude, with the way he takes care of situation, the way I see it, it's like, this man, nobody else. Well, no, let me rephrase that. He's never wrong. He's never in the wrong in the way things he says, and the way he thinks, and the things he believes in. He's just never wrong. He will never be wrong. Everybody else is the one who's wrong. He doesn't care if he's had years of friendship with you. If you, for even just a fraction of thoughts, just don't agree with him, you're the enemy. You're a bigot. You're a piece of crap. You're all these names in the book. He will cut you off. He will talk mess with you. He will talk mess about you. He will just not care about you, and just it's not good at all. Hold on, the album finished, so now we're gonna go to the Fall of the Ideals. Let me just pump myself up. Oh, quick sidebar. I'm using the word sidebar because that's what they use in court. And me and my lady are still watching Better Call Saul. So, future lawyer over here. Quick sidebar. I have these pair of speakers coming in today that I'm very, very, very excited for. Because, the case with my with both my record players, they have their own built-in speakers, but they're not that good. They're just not really good. They're fine for like mellow music if you want mellow, but I want something with like higher sound quality, bigger range, more bass and treble, more everything. And I bought these pair of speakers. It was a pretty penny, but I know it's gonna be worth it. Read a lot of reviews, and it's just excited. They should be here today by 10 o'clock, and if they're not, I'll be hella mad, even though I didn't pay extra. The other ones that I want, which were smaller and not as much bells and whistles, it was like $30 less, but they wouldn't have been here till Friday. Hopefully they show up today, because I want this weekend to just be great. Anyways, so now we're gonna listen to The Fall of the Ideals by All That Remains. This is the album that All That Remains is gonna be playing tomorrow, in its entirety, and I'm stoked. Just let's get pumped for it. All right. Loading it up now. Listen to this. Oh, I don't know if you guys could hear that, but yeah, it was great. The way this song is called "This Calling," and the way it sounds in the studio version it sounds exactly the same live. It's incredible. This band is just so great live. Well, anyways, back to what I was originally saying. In his podcast, Ethan has brought in a lot of notable people, a lot of big name people, from YouTube, from TV, even some political candidates. One of my favorites he brought in was Bill Burr, even those episodes were just so awkward. I love Bill Burr when he's in other podcasts, when he has people who are like open to how he thinks and everything like that, and people who welcome to how Bill Burr is, but when you see him and Ethan just, how do you say, interacting with each other, you can tell a lot of the things are just forced. It doesn't flow like anywhere else. It's just forced, and it sucks. Anyways, Ethan had Jordan Peterson on for 2 of his podcast episodes. He had Jordan Peterson on. Jordan Peterson and him, Ethan has said multiple times that he brought him up because he respects Peterson. He loves what he does. He was just a great fan of his. Jordan Peterson believed likewise. He was like, likewise, yeah, I like you. You're great. Yeah, it's fun being on your show. Excuse me. Well, anyways, some time passed, and I guess because Ethan was changing to please the people who aren't really fans of his show, just wants everybody to be PC, politically correct. Since Ethan was just now becoming more obsessed and more driven to please those people, that he started, denouncing a lot of the old people that he liked, that he had on the show and everything. And one of them was Jordan Peterson. Started talking mess, started saying not so great things about him, and deleted both episodes, which sucked, because there were people who would listen to those episodes of his podcast and be like, listen, it sucks that you took it down, because those 2 episodes really helped me out in my personal life. It really helped me think about more than what I was just thinking now, and it really helped me through rough times, and it sucks that you took it down. It really does. Jordan Peterson, he did this. Let me see. So I could look it up. It was just such a good tweet, because it was just like, you guys ever like read or hear anything and just be like, yeah, no, that's the truth. That's the way things are going now, let's see. Where's Jordan Peterson? Okay, so Jordan Peterson wrote this to Ethan Klein shortly after the videos were deleted, and after Ethan Klein was like, oh, Jordan Peterson, he's not a good man, yada yada. So basically, Jordan Peterson wrote down, you will be held to a higher and soon impossible to maintain ethical standards by the very mob you currently wish to please. Then you will make a mistake, and they will devour you with glee. Please take this warning seriously. I liked you. What does that mean? He's telling Ethan, like, dude, the people you're trying to please right now, they're never going to be satisfied. They will never be satisfied with what you do for them. Because the very, very moment you mess up, whether huge or small, they're going to sick you, They like rabid dogs to prey. They're going to rip you apart with no remorse, and they won't care. They won't care what the result will be after. They just want you gone. And that's exactly what happened. After basically going off on his old guests that he did it, he said, oh, we're cool to, screw you, you suck. I think in his most recent podcast a few days ago, he was basically saying how he can tell if someone's a top or a bottom when it comes down to like same-sex relationship and what they do behind closed doors. And he had a caller call in, and he was saying like, listen, the caller was like, how can you tell? You don't know these people. Why are you making these assumptions? Yada yada. And then Ethan was just like, not only trying to clarify his position or what he meant, but he was basically being like, oh, well, you understood me wrong, and that's basically your bad. I know what I meant. And that community did not take it on the chin. So they did exactly what Peterson said they were going to do. And that was, they devoured him. Because And here, call it poetic justice, call it irony, whatever you want to call this. But a while ago, Keemstar, I'm not a fan of Keemstar either. I just never watched any of his stuff. I don't care for that guy. Keemstar was on his show, on Ethan's show, and I guess Keemstar thought that they squashed whatever beef they had or something, even if they had beef. But how do you call it? Ethan later on tweeted, yeah, we don't like him either and everything. And Keemstar like, whoa, what? You know? Well, anyways, Ethan at one point was just like, yeah, how do you call it? G Fuel. I don't understand how G Fuel can still sponsor somebody like Keemstar. I really don't get it. And it was just like, hey, honestly, these sponsors should really look at who they're sponsoring and just, he's not a good person to like to give money to, yada yada, this and that. So Ethan's drones of his fans at that point went over, started contacting G Fuel, and next thing, like I think it was like 2 days later, G Fuel just drops Keemstar, and Ethan was for it. You know, from what I was understanding, Ethan was for it. I'm like, yeah, no, drop him, forget him. Nah, he's not that great. And it's like, you're messing with this man's money, you're messing with this man's hustle, you're messing with this man's livelihood. That's messed up. Why would you do that? You know, it's like, don't like how he thinks, fine. Don't like what he says, fine. But you're messing with his stuff. Like, I guarantee you, even now, it's no more clear than how it is now. People, even old fans of Ethan's in his early years and everything like that, do not like him anymore, are not fans. And they're like, yeah, no, you changed. You're not good. Even those people didn't even mess with Ethan's stuff, you know? It's just like, yeah, you just do what you're going to do. I don't care. I'm not going to be a fan anymore. The only effect that people like that have had an effect on Ethan was the fact that they unsubscribed. And that's it. The H3H3 productions and podcasts have been losing subscribers left and right. Way more, at a way faster rate than they have been gaining new subscribers. It's crazy how much the numbers have plummeted. But how do you call it? Yeah, no, that's just how it's been going lately. So he was basically for it. I don't know how many other YouTubers he was directly or indirectly responsible with having their sponsors drop them, but it was a very messed up thing to do. It will always be a very messed up thing to do. I mean, like, Keemstar wasn't advocating for like genocide. He wasn't advocating for destruction of certain countries or anything like that. You just didn't like what he said or how he thought or how he did things, and you were responsible for making sure that he didn't have G Fuel as a sponsor anymore at that point. So here's the thing that happened recently. Like I said, call it irony, call it poetic justice, whatever you want it. I think as of yesterday or today, I think it was today, or probably yesterday, I don't know, yesterday or today, in the latest episode of the H3H3 podcast, they started off with Ethan looking bummed, slumped over, just not looking like he wanted to do it. And he announced that nobody was sponsoring that episode of the H3H3 podcast. Nobody. Absolutely no one. And it was because of the remarks he was saying a few episodes prior, the one I mentioned earlier, about being able to tell who's a top, who's a bottom, and everything, by the way they sound or carry themselves. And because he made sure that his fan base was the fan base of people that can never ever be happy and pleased with what they're given, as soon as he made that mistake in their eyes, yeah, they went off on him. They ripped him apart, or they devoured him, as Peterson wrote in his text, with glee. with happiness, with joy. Because not only were they putting him on blast and videos on Twitter, everywhere they could, they also contacted his sponsors, and his sponsors dropped him exactly the way he did with Keemstar, maybe even other YouTubers. His own fans, his own modern fans, did that with him. And you can tell that he is not happy. And I want to say that I feel bad for him, but I can't. Because it's just like, dude, you did the same exact thing with somebody else, and you were fine with it. Well, anyways, but here's the thing. In his own show, in that very same episode, in that very same opening of their podcast, he said he took zero accountability. Absolutely none. He wasn't saying like, yeah, you know, I spoke out about things that I shouldn't have. It was my mistake. Or as he would say, it was my goof, you know? And just none of that. He still blamed his fans, which his modern newer fans, like those, were the ones who contacted his sponsors. But it's just like, dude, this is literally a warning that you've had, like, what, since January 14th of this year. Peterson literally told you, look, you're gonna devour you, like, happily, if you ever step out of line. And that's exactly what's been happening now. So that's just what it is. That's what it is. He had such a loyal, amazing following, you know, when he was just being himself, when his wife was just being herself, when they were making videos that they loved, when they were doing stuff that they weren't trying to please people, they were just trying to just put videos out there that they wanted to make and had fun making. And in turn, they gained such a large viewership, such a large following of people who loved it, loved their stuff. But now when they just turned around and was like, nah, forget you guys. Nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm the best. Nah, I could do no wrong. Nah, I'll never make a mistake. Nah, you guys are always the wrong ones. Nah, you guys ones the POS and everything like that. He made sure that not only did he get rid of his fans that liked his content, he also made sure that the ones who stuck were the ones who knew that they can literally make any creator's career. They can make it or break it. So yeah, but yeah, that's what's been happening lately. And it's just like, you know, oh, it says my speakers has shipped. It's 2:59. Should be here before 10. Hopefully, you know, that's like 7 hours away. So hopefully, so yeah, so that's just what's been happening lately. And you know, no, I will say, I feel bad that this is happening because he's just been blinded with the current agenda. And even though he's a grown-ass man that can make his own decisions, some people just have that desire to be accepted and pleased. And that's just the harsh reality of how people can be. And in the end of the day, they will do anything they can to please, to how do you call it, provide, to just, you know, just do what they're told. And yeah, it's harder to be the type of person that'll just speak your mind, you know, that'll just say what you want to say how you feel, say what you believe in and everything like that. Because the way things are nowadays, you can be doxxed. You can be called out. You can be looked at a worse light than what you actually are in and everything. And that's just the power of people who yell louder than those. So yeah, so it's just, like I said, it makes me feel bad. It blows my mind. But in the end of the day, hopefully, this is a wake-up call for him, for his wife. The same thing I said, here I go going back to this, but the same thing I said, yes, the other podcast, where I think Will should just take a break from acting, from doing all that stuff for at least a year. Focus on himself, decide what he wants in life, what he can do, and then make a comeback. and then go back to working if he desires. Is the same thing I want to say for Ethan and his wife Hila. Just take a break from YouTube, you know? Take a break from your podcast, take a break from your videos, or maybe even record them, but just don't upload them for some time. And just focus on yourselves, you know? Just focus on yourselves. Just decide what you want to do from here on out. Decide how the pros and cons of the things that you're making, you're putting out there and everything like that. Making videos, whether you're podcasting, whether you're making commentary, whether you're doing music, whether you're doing anything you want to do, should be something that you should do because you still want to. It still brings you joy, and it still brings you something to look forward to, you know? It shouldn't just be a burden. It shouldn't just be like, oh crap, I gotta record a podcast. Like, god damn it. It shouldn't be any of that. It should be fun. It should be a desire, you know? And honestly, from what I'm seeing, is just I don't think it's a desire for him anymore. I think it's just like something that he feels obligated to do now. Feels obligated to make these videos. Feels obligated to do it because of his sponsors, maybe. Feels obligated to do it because of the fans he's been trying to please. Just go back to your roots, is what I'm saying. Go back to your roots and realize that do stuff that makes you happy. Do stuff that brings you joy. And when you put it out there, whatever audience that attracts, just keep doing it. You know, they had it. They had it from 2014, 2015, 2016, the golden years of H3H3 Productions. They had it. And I fully believe that they can get it back. And that's why I do what I do. I do these podcasts, even though like I've seen people who have started around the same exact time I did, like 2 months ago, and they already have over 100, over 200 subscribers and everything, more comments in their section, more like ratings, everything like that. Yeah, I want to get to that point. It's more sooner than later, but at the end of the day, it's just like, the fans I got right now, the people who subscribe to me now, they're the people who enjoy what I'm saying. They listen because they want to listen. They want to hear what I have to say. And if that fan base grows slower than others, then so be it, you know? So be it. In the end of the day, I'm doing these because I enjoy doing it. I love talking into this microphone. I love the fact that I can talk into this microphone, just talk about everything that comes into my mind. And, you know, when it's all said and done, put the SD card into my laptop, edit it. Like, this is even the beauty part about doing this type of stuff. I don't even really have to edit anything. Like, yeah, I have to put the title card in and then make sure that the audio matches up at a specific times and everything. But that's really about it. You know, I just detach the audio from the video because I have it plugged into my camera. My camera's just pointing at randomness and everything, because all I need to do is when I detach the audio from the video, I delete the picture, the video part of it, and keep the audio. I hardly ever have to edit the audio, ever. The only times I ever have to edit the audio is because sometimes when I make my introduction, I have like a second or two of just dead air, and I'm just like, yeah, I need to shorten that. Or even in the end, when I cut off the video and everything like that, I probably like have a second or two of dead air. So I'm like, yeah, I need to shorten that, you know, a little more precise. And then there's the intro music, and then there's the title card. And that's really about it. It would take me less than 10 minutes to just, even less than that, if I had a decent computer. But it takes me less than 10 minutes to just fix it all up together and then just export it. And once it's finished exporting, I think exporting is even longer than doing any of the video and editing to get combined. Because exporting takes about like 2.5 hours. And then just upload it. And it just brings me like happiness and more motivation knowing that somewhere out there, people I have never ever met, interacted with, will one day stumble on my stuff, listen to what I say, and enjoy it enough to subscribe. And so far, it's happened with a few people. And to those, I want to tell you, thank you. I do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And it's what keeps me going. And yeah, that's really about it. This is fun to me. If ever doing this in the future makes me feel like I'm doing this because it's a job now, it's a requirement, it's a burden, then that's when I know that this isn't for me anymore. And hopefully that never happens. And if it does inevitably have to happen, I hope that's not till years and years down the road. Because I'll tell you right now, this is one of the joys I have in life, you know? Like having my cats chilling by the window, sleeping, having some of my favorite musics and songs playing, just having everything feel like really, really good. It just brings me happiness. But yeah, and that's just what I want for Ethan. That's what I want for Will and everything. That's what I want for my other friends and everything. I have a friend and everything. He's a great guy. What do you call it? This guy's so great. So I clicked on the wrong thing. So what do you call it? Sorry, I'm itching. Sorry about that. I don't know why music stopped. The song 6. This is the song I was telling you guys about. Hold on. Let me put it up a little bit so you guys can hear it. Dum, dum, dum. Yeah, this song is so good. First song I ever heard of them, and it was in Guitar Hero 2. It was one of those unlockable songs and everything. But anyways, back to my original thing. I have a friend. I met him back in 2020 when I was a supervisor for this one security company, and he was one of my leads and everything. He's a veteran from the Navy. He runs this channel on YouTube called 026Gonzo. Huge Pokemon fan, huge Pokemon nerd. And what do you call it? He uploads videos frequently, and I mean like frequent. He just uploaded one yesterday, and he just does these videos because he loves them. He loves doing them. He has a wife. He has a kid. He has a job which he enjoys, as far as I can tell, but he still does those Pokemon videos because he loves them. And that's great. That's amazing. It's just like, it's something that people should feel when they do stuff like this. Podcasting, music, cooking, just vlogging and everything should be done because it's something that you love. And it's something that you want to do. There's so many more genres out there. Commentary, reactions, unboxing, survival, craftsman. You know, all endless possibilities. Especially Shirley's. You guys watch that video? Shirley's is funny. But like, yeah. It's just like, it's just, those are examples of people who do it because they love him. And that's how it should be. And going back to my buddy and everything like that, 026Gonzo, great Pokemon channel. If you guys love Pokemon, if you guys enjoy his stuff, Pokemon stuff and everything, go check him out. He does like giveaways. He does like opening the packages of Pokemon cards and everything like that. He has conversations of more Pokemons, and it's just like, you know, I like Pokemon, but this guy is a mega fan. He's super into it, and honestly, I think he's older than me. He's a couple years older than me, but it's just nice to have stuff that you were a fan since childhood still be a fan now. He's been loving Pokemon since he was a little kid and everything, and it's a passion of his even to now. I've been loving Spider-Man since I was a kid, and it's something that I still love now and everything. And yeah, 026Gonzo. Go check him out. Like, really, just his stuff is great. Stuff is really great. But honestly, right now, it's just I had something, like, I was thinking about this the other day, and it was just like going back to making videos and stuff. One thing that I noticed is just that a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but some of the channels I listen to, just like, you know, they start off their channel being one thing, but then, like, when they start getting their footing, when they start getting their rhythm, when they start experimenting, they start noticing that their channels kind of like shift to a different direction, where that's where their fan base is coming from a lot more. And how do you call it, they capitalize on that, which nothing's wrong with it, but it's just like, I was like, who was it, Penguin Zio or Moist Critical. This guy, if you go back to his early videos, it was just FPS shooters. That's all it was. Just like showing off his skills in Call of Duty, Halo, I think. And then now it became to what this is, you know, like reporting on the latest drama, commentary, just meeting up famous people or whatever, you know. And yeah, and who else? Crap, who was it? I forgot who else. But yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. It's just like, yeah, I want to continue doing the podcasting stuff, but I've also been like thinking about experimenting with some other stuff, like, again, with music, whether on the guitar or vocals, or maybe doing my old comic stuff again. But, you know, I don't know. Something I'm contemplating on. Hopefully this still stays a podcast channel. I think it will. But yeah, no, that's just been running through my mind and everything. Well, I just want to say thank you guys, all of you, for spending over an hour just listening to my voice, listening to all that remains in the background, listening to my washer and dryer, even though it's already done now. And yeah, you know, this is fun. This is what I look forward to every single day. And you know, I'm gonna drink some water. I'll tap it against my pop filter. You guys can hear it. I don't know. Yeah. And here's to a lot more future episodes of the Mando. Thank you guys again for tuning in. And I hope you guys have a wonderful. Oh, let me start that again. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And yeah. Thank you. See ya.